Hey there, everybody. I hope you are doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. If you are new to my channel, I'm so glad you landed here. I hope you like what you see and hear and stick around. Hit that like and subscribe button. For all of my new subscribers, I am so glad to have you aboard and really thrilled that you thought enough of my content to subscribe. That means a lot. Keeps me motivated. Like, let's do this thing, you all. There's so much happening around the world, certainly here in America. And what I do, if you are not familiar with my work, is I've been doing tarot and oracles for over 30 years, definitely well trained in those. I am also an ordained priestess in African and pagan traditions. And on top of that, I am a former newspaper journalist, so my approach to doing spiritual work in these readings is very, as some of you, we laugh together and saying I'm definitely about the woo-woo, but I'm also about the facts and trying to get to the bottom line of some things. So let's go in on some recent things that have happened. I think we want to get a little more clarity around. That would be, number one, you all saw the speech yesterday on the campaign trail in Wisconsin. Liz Cheney came out and formally made her case for Kamala Harris. And then, of course, we heard from Kamala Harris afterward. I want to go to Spirit and see, what's up with that? Liz Cheney's an interesting character. There are those who deeply respect the fact that she basically tanked her career for the time being. We'll see where we're going with that. Because of Jan 6, and she did what she did. We know that both she and her father, Dick Cheney, have come out and said they will vote for Kamala Harris. But let's take a look and see what that's really all about. And if, in fact, she's trying to weasel up for like a cabinet position, or if this is just a relaunch, she's positioning herself for once Donald Trump is off the scene and the MAGA movement goes and moves on, that she can re-enter and sort of reintroduce, a new and improved GOP. Let's take a look at her, we will. And then we have, no surprise, some code switching happening now with Melania Trump coming out and being very vocally pro-abortion. She put a video out yesterday on X in advance of the release of her new memoir, which will be out, I think it's October 8th. So that's coming up. But you have to believe. And then, of course, people went running to Trump for, what do you have to say about this? And he says, I told her when she was writing, speak from your heart and tell your truth. We're believing that? Or was this really code switching for, I cannot come out and say what needs to be said to attract more women voters, more women who want to protect reproductive rights. I can't do that. But look, Melania, do me a solid and do your part, because the inference will be, you're my wife. If you say it, if you're vocal, I'm certainly not angry with you about it. I support your right to say that. What does that say about what I'm really going to, you know what I mean? It's twisted, code switching. We're going to take a look at that and see what that's really all about. And finally, I'm going to look at this one with one eye closed, you all. Like, Garth Brooks. Why? And yeah, really, like, let's not just assume, but this is really interesting. I think in the wake of the Diddy revelation, Sean Diddy Combs revelation, we know 120 new cases filed against him since he was trying to keep it healthy. Y'all, let me take a sip of my green drink. By tonight I'll be eating some Doritos and tacos or something, but I'm starting out the day right. But yeah, after Diddy, I'm not surprised, and we may even continue to see high profile celebrities, lawsuits brought against them. But I do want to take a look and see, is this it for him? He's definitely one of the more revered, musical celebrities in that genre, and that's also, that's tipping into that conservative Christian MAGA-esque category. Like, Are they going to turn their backs on him, or will they find a way to say, you can't trust women anyway? And of course, this is going to wind up in the courts. Just want to take a quick peek at that. More to come on that later. All right, you all. Let's put that to the side. I will be reading, some of you are readers and you always ask, I will be reading from MJ Culane's The Raven's Dream Tarot. Ravens get to the truth of things. They're messengers, right? All right. So, first and foremost, the joint appearance yesterday by Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney, Spirit. The joint appearance yesterday, Kamala Harris, Liz Cheney. Is Liz Cheney trying to come in for a cabinet post or somehow relaunch her political career through Kamala Harris? Is Liz Cheney, was this strictly like a political trying to rebirth? Eight of Swords. No, she was actually afraid to do it. There was a part of her that was afraid to do it, or she's not certain. She recognizes that this is really a gamble, that she recognizes that she's lost a great deal of her base. And yet, look at that bear clinging. I gotta hold that up for a moment. See those claws? That kind of sort of feels like clawing her way back, right? Clawing her way back. Let's pull a couple more cards and see what Spirit says. Liz Cheney, the Chariot. That's making sense. And the Seven of Swords. She wants to convince, and the Eight of Cups. She wants to genuinely move on. She sees her decision to be vocal and come out in support of Kamala Harris as, and so to answer the basic question was, I was wondering if she was angling for a cabinet position or even if that was on the table. I don't see that happening. I think this was her trying to move forward to position herself to get reestablished as a legit GOP leader down the road. I think that this is this, Spirit just said, that saying, in times of war, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? That is one reason why I think the Harris campaign embraced Cheney. I think that's why the timing, people were wondering why she was not a factor of, at the DNC, thought that we were waiting for her a little bit. That's exactly what was happening. This Eight of Swords and, Seven of Swords and the Eight of Cups is, she's learned a lot of lessons. She's been sitting back and studying every move that Trump, Vance, the MAGA, that whole MAGA situation from the leadership standpoint, Heritage Foundation, etc. She's been studying them to no end, because her end game is with the Chariot. She's trying to figure out a way, you all, to when we get over this hump, she's going to be one of the first faces and voices that we hear and see that's going to try and relaunch the new and improved GOP. The idea that, and I do think, I wanted to look at this as well. This just came back to me when I was preparing to take. I'm feeling like Kamala Harris may have had some conversations with Joe Biden regarding a need to get back to bipartisanship. Remember, that was one of the things that Joe Biden brought to the campaign when Barack Obama was first running in 2008, because not only did he have the experience, but he had the wherewithal and the talent for being able to reach across the aisle, right? I wonder, and this is what I'm asking, because there was no genuine warmth there. You notice Kamala Harris is warm. She's a hugger. When she really, we've seen her hug. How many times have we seen her hug, Joe Biden, Jill, other leaders that she really is fond of. You can tell she's a hugger. She's warm. There was no hug or embrace. There was a almost formal handshake, but then it teetered into a little more warmth where she reached out, Kamala reached out and touched, took her hands and touched Liz Cheney's forearms, kind of thing, like making that human connection. But that is different from a girl. Come here, bring it in. Glad to have you aboard. So no, you all, those, and even people that reached out and ask questions, email me like, is Liz Cheney about to be, on the cabinet? No, she will not be a part of the cabinet. I'm not getting that. This is about getting her to relaunch and reset the new and improved GOP. That's just how they're giving it to me. Now, Kamala Harris, I do think that Three of Cups, exactly. Celebratory, getting together, having talks. I do think that Kamala Harris and her people, her closest associates, are going to continue to forge a relationship of some sort with Liz Cheney et al. The new leaders who emerge out of the traditional Reagan-esque GOP party, if that can even be resuscitated, right? We got some questions around that. And with Pluto going into Aquarius, who knows? We may come up with a third party. The GOP party may become something else. Who knows? We'll get more into that as time goes by. But I think this Three of Cups is saying, yes, Kamala and Joe Biden had some conversations, as well as other people, but she respects Joe Biden's the history, the length of his career and his wisdom, no matter what, even if he is, on the tail end of that and moving out. But the bottom line is she's been with him for a very long time. She understands and has had some conversations, and she understands the wisdom and the fact that she will need conservative cooperation, GOP cooperation in her administration. So yes, there's a dialogue there, but I don't think Seven of Wands. Yes, it is about building her coalition, building her her access to people from different ideologies, and still managing to do that with an effort to moving together. But we will not be seeing she darn sure Liz ain't gonna be our Secretary of State or nothing like that, right? Ain't happening. But it was interesting. And again, the thing that Spirit gave me was the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the fact that Liz Cheney has come out so forcefully against Trump, and then come out and been willing to say, policies aside, differences aside, this is country first, putting country first. I do think that's going to go a long way, and she will use that as political capital down the road. All right, moving on. Melania on X talking about, now she might as well go out and apply to be head of Planned Parenthood Association. She's, and women's this and women's that. Like, she gets this real stern look. There's nothing. For me, I don't know how you all feel, but it's almost robotic. It's almost, like she's there, but she's not there. Like, is it AI? Is it somebody else talking through her? I don't know. But in any event, so she put in this book, apparently. This wasn't just something that she said in a video. It is apparently, there's a section in the book where quotes from the book that you can find online where she talks about abortion rights and women having the freedom, to having freedom over their bodies. Now, Donald Trump said ahead of time, few times, that he did not read her book before it was about to go for publication. He did not read it. He made jokes about, I hope it says something that, I hope it's nice towards me, and if it's not, well, I'll deal with that later. But he has also said she has a right to express her opinions, and I just told her, speak from her heart, as if she consulted with him ahead of time on whether or not she should even broach that topic of abortion, right? Are we believing that? Really, y'all? Are we believing that? This woman, for all intents and purposes, has not, we know, she has not been with him on the campaign trail. She did not come out, she could have held a press conference. She could have done anything in the wake of these so-called assassination attempts. she, if she was really all about her husband and all about his candidacy and his leadership for the country, if she really gave a what for, that I'm seeing her now in that jacket going to Texas with those children in cages at that time with that canvas jacket on, like, what was it? Who cares? Woo, don't take me back to that. All right. Got to be unbiased and objective when I go to the cards, because otherwise my energy can influence it. So let me get that incense smoke coming over here. Let me take another sip of the green juice. Let me raise it up a minute. All right. Was this spirit was Melania Trump's new blah blah over abortion? Is this a ploy? Is this yet another ploy by Donald Trump to win over women voters? And is she complicit in that? Is Melania Trump complicit in a ploy by Donald Trump to win over women voters by her coming out and saying she's now pro, or she's always been pro-abortion? Knight of Wands. He told her to move on it. I think they've had some conversations about the fact that, listen, I understand you don't love me anymore. I understand you don't even want to be around me. But I need you to do some kind of movement right now for me, or else I'm going to jail. All of my assets are going to be taken, and that's going to impact you and Baron. 2 cards just came out. 6 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. Yes. This was strategic. 8 of Wands, communication. Oh, that's this one. 8 of Wands, communication. Moving. I need you to move quickly. The timing of the release of this book in October was no accident. It was definitely intended to appeal to women voters, to women who may even feel somewhat envious of Melania. Not sure where I'm getting that from, but that's how I feel. We know that there are so many women who are just goo gaga over this man. Will never understand it, don't want to. But there is that, there is a little, not so much admiration for her, but a little envy is what I'm getting. And so there's this timing of publishing this book in October was extremely deliberate. And the 6 of Swords is how to move forward strategically. This was definitely a strategic move, you all. And the Sun came at the bottom of the deck. I usually look at that. And the Lovers, and that's him, Gemini. He knew this is a ploy. Straight up, this is another one. And maybe this is a new one out of the Trump MAGA playbook. Because we've been talking about, Kamala Harris talked so much about the old playbook. This might have been a new move, a little swervy move. Because the timing to release this book, the messaging now that she's decided to give of all the things. Remember, when we first started hearing about this memoir, it was supposed to be about her time in the past. This has been my life. This is what life in America has been like. This was what my life in the White House was like. It was like a retrospective. But the content now of something that is so clearly relevant during this election, yeah, this 150%, you all, is a ploy. Melania has not said a truthful word out her mouth. I just looked down and saw Strength and the High Priestess hiding her truth, and the Emperor. I'm done. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. The Emperor, his control, he wields money over her. He definitely wields. It's not about love. Love been gone a long time ago. But he wields influence, power. He continues to hook her in the idea of, if you continue to ride along on this decrepit bus, in the end, you will come out so much better. And he uses Baron as a tool for that as well. Because the Emperor also indicates the quote-unquote divine father, or the figure of fatherhood and authority. And he uses that. He convinces her that somehow by doing these things to help him, it will benefit Baron. And that's a part of what keeps her on the hook. High Priestess is she knows better. The High Priestess is what is both known and unknown, seen and unseen. She knows better. But she's playing, it's not even cat and mouse. It's like just, and Strength. She wants to project an image of strength, because deep down she is shamed by so much of what has become to light about Donald Trump. She knows now without a question. If she didn't know then, and how could she not? We know the circumstances under which they came together, the Epstein crowd, etc., etc. All of this, by the way, excuse me, all of this, by the way, is for entertainment purposes only. Gotta say it. But she knows. She knows, and she's played her hand, but she's also playing it to her strength at this point, you all. And it's really just about, he has convinced her that doing this is definitely going to benefit her and perhaps some, more importantly to her, Barron down the road, because Barron's going to need a lot of help. I don't even want to go into that energy. That is really dark. Eric and Don Jr., nothing compared to this, what's happening right here. Eric and Don Jr. are at least cognizant of what they're doing. They are trying to model the behavior of their father. Barron, I hate to go there with someone who's still so young, but not good, because it's really permeated his psyche. But okay, moving on. Garth Brooks. Is Garth Brooks canceled? I hesitate to get into the true or false, because I don't know that serves any of us. We will find that out. The truth of this person who I think worked for him. I haven't read a lot on the story. I just sort of saw the breaking news and thought, Garth Brooks, wow, such a different image. And for a lot of country stars, that image of America, wholesomeness, love, even if it gets gritty and raw sometimes, it's just, but it's not that. But anyway, Garth Brooks, is he canceled? Is it over for him? Page of Wands. I think there's this growing movement where we may see more cases brought against him. At the very least, we're going to see people who I think corroborate this person's story. I think they worked for him for quite some time. This wasn't like he was in a city and did a bad thing kind of thing on a tour. I think this was something that was more ongoing and someone that actually worked for him over a period of time. So that Page of Wands feels like there will be people who will corroborate her story. And you have to figure her attorneys that doing their due diligence had to find that out anyway before they would bring a case against such a major celebrity, right? Ten of Swords. Ooh, not good for him. Ten of Pentacles, his money. Will he settle? Knight of Swords. Will Garth Brooks settle this case? Will he settle this case to make it go away? Eight of Pentacles. He's considering it. He's going to make a try. Now it's going to be a matter of, is the deal going to be sweet enough to drop the lawsuit? But that Eight of Pentacles is money. We saw that Ten of Pentacles, money. And the buildup of evidence even, right? Tangible, what can be proven. But I think he's going to do whatever it takes to not let this be drawn out and protracted. Will the case settle? Will this case settle? The Star. There's a strong likelihood, but it will take time. I don't know how much. I'm not getting a sense of exactly when, but there is hope that it will. That's going to be ground game one, is to try and negotiate this and settle this lawsuit, because he does not want to see his name and image protractedly drawn out in the media, etc. The only way that would be hampered, of course, is will we see other lawsuits? Are there others or another that will come forward? Will we see other lawsuits? The Sun. We might. So if that happens, if there are others who come forward, you all, that could impact case number one and whether there would be a willingness to settle, because at that point it's like, no, go for the gusto, get every penny, unless the settlement, but and settlements rarely are everything you asked for, right? And there's the Hermit. There are attorneys, even, I'm feeling, and maybe even this same law firm that's representing the person who brought the suit, this initial suit. They could be looking into others, because that too would bolster and corroborate the first case that we're hearing about. But in so doing, does that bring about additional cases? Don't be surprised. This is damaging. Right now, he's at the front end of it, and he has the resources. He's going to try and do everything he can to mitigate this, to try and get it to a quick settlement. But if, in fact, there are others that begin to come forward to corroborate, and I definitely feel with that Hermit energy, they are out there. Her legal team is out there finding these people. And if, in fact, there's enough stories, not just to corroborate what happened to her, but if it turns into a Me Too kind of situation, then we will be seeing some other things regarding Garth Brooks. And I hate to see it, not really even a Garth Brooks fan. Of course, I know who he is, but just this whole thing. But remember, Pluto and Aquarius, the times that we're in, the divine feminine energy from the cosmos beginning to reassert itself and say, you know what, guys, this toxic masculinity, this whole Heritage Foundation, Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. We could go on and on, not to mention Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, all of them. This idea that when power has been given to men, and now we're even seeing it in the entertainment industry, in Hollywood, the Harvey Weinsteins, etc. That it's deplorable what you've done. You are not respecting the earth. You're not respecting women. You are not respecting children, etc. And so I think we're going to begin to see in this age of Aquarius that we're going into, I think that Pluto and Aquarius, I think we're going to begin to see more and more truth come to light. And it's not going to be from a spiritual perspective, from source goddess perspective. It is not. They don't care about some salacious details of these things. It's not, please. It's right, but it's more about certain things have to get dealt with in order to evolve, in order to get people's consciousness to evolve, and to feel that there is a reason to continue to hope for the betterment of mankind versus the debasement of mankind. All right, enough of that speech. Thank you all so much again for being here with me. If you excuse me again early, and I lit that incense. If you are a member, check the posts in the community tab, because I will be doing a live Zoom for members only next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's October 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern, but that is for members only. So if you'd like to join the membership, there's information to do that is in down below in the description. So just click that more button if you're on a laptop or a PC or a phone. There's a little more tab. Click that and go down, and you'll see how to join the membership. And if you want to join me, I will be live for members only on a Zoom call. Let's vibe and do some questions and answers next Wednesday, the 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Have a great weekend, you all. I will talk to you real soon, probably by Monday. All right. Be good. Bye.